find you a bakkie?
It's not a bucket. It's a Hilux.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Yaqhuba Club World Cup America. Ilizwe lika Donald Trump. Kumane kusithiwa kuzawunetha abadlali mabahambe bozimela kwatsho kwacima. Kodwa ke sisayinyamezela lo Club World Cup. Imamelodi Sundowns sorry. Idlala kulo Club World Cup ngomso wasifumana ke ngo-6 p.m. badlala neBorussia Dortmund. Will be here tomorrow as we cover Sundowns and Borussia Dortmund. If they win, they will be through to the last 16. If they draw, they still have a good chance. However, of course, the German team is a stronger team, but we'll see on the day itself. Now, Orlando Pirates, it's been reported by SABC Sport that they have signed Yanela Mbuthuma. He's a striker, plays for Richards Bay Football Club. We saw him playing for Bafana Bafana. Very impressed by some of his touches. Not much really, but we were impressed by some of his touches, more so than we were impressed by, for example, the other one who plays for Ichipa United, Ukwaiba. It was more impressive to see Mbuthuma. But former Orlando Pirates midfielder, Orlando Pirates icon, Tso Vilakazi, will find out from him whether or not he thinks it's the right fit. So thank you very much for joining us with your family and all your kids here. You've just done your kid in PlayStation 4. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Jasa. It's child abuse to beat children in PlayStation.
No, you know, Mr.
But you're a very good player, actually.
One thing I like about the game is that when you get hammered, that's how you get learn.
It humbles you.
So if you're gonna win all the games, you'll think you are this big shot. So you need to get the hiding and then learn from us to say, oh, this is how you play this game.
He says you were lucky.
He says I was lucky. I mean, 4-1.
How can you be lucky if you win 4-1?
Kids are kids, Mr. Q, and he's the one who's lucky because it's been. When was the last time I played the game? It's been years.
Yeah, but you're still very good. You're really good.
If I can go on and play again, then all those tricks and everything will come back.
But you must play with the older one, the one who plays in the PSL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Utato, you must play with them because he's older. Utato is older.
Yeah.
He's in his 20s. Utlelo is still young. He's 11 years old. So, that's child abuse. Do you expect Mbuthuma and Orlando Pirates this link? Of course, it's not officially announced now.
Yeah.
You've watched Richards Bay because your son plays there at Richards Bay. Mbuthuma, we've watched him I think I've seen him for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
He's not new in the PSL.
Yes.
But what was impressive with his performance at Bafana, it was not wow.
Yeah.
But what I liked was that we got to see a side of him that we've never seen. Because Richards Bay is a small team in the PSL.
Yeah.
They're always at number 14, number 13. They played in the playoffs last season. They're not a good team, so you never see the strengths of their good players.
Yeah.
When Mbuthuma played for Bafana, we kind of saw that, oh, damn, you actually are good in a good team.
Yes.
You don't look that great there at Richards because you're always chasing after the ball, but in a good team at Bafana, I don't want to overrate that performance against Mozambique, but it was good enough for us to talk about it when we shot those videos. What do you think about this?
Mr. Geo, personally, that's a type of a striker that I prefer. A striker that will hold the ball, wait for the midfielders to come, lay it, and make a run, create a space for your teammates to use that space and take a shot. And for me, it was like, wow, this boy,
We've never seen him do this.
Yeah, I mean, he's played good chess play for how many seasons, but we've never seen this. And again, Mr. Nkeo, it shows that the surroundings, they also play a part in terms of we see the best of you, because I think, sometimes these small teams, it's all about working.
Sometimes you're avoiding to lose.
Yes.
It's not, you're not pushing to attack, you're avoiding losing.
Yes, you're always worried that I don't want to concede.
Yeah.
If we lose the ball, everyone behind the ball, we will hope that we're going to play it there and then he will see. for himself. But in the national team, you know, he got good support. Some players, they make good runs, can hold the ball, late for them. You know, they take some shots. And I was so impressed because it's something that we hardly see in the PSL in terms of the strikers. You know, and I don't want to mention names of certain players, but some players that have been selected in the national team.
You did say, actually, when we watched, sorry to cut your point, so I'm just following on what you're saying. I want to remind you that when we saw him at Bafana Bafana a few weeks ago, you said that if you look at Sundowns, if you look at Chiefs, if you look at Pirates, he did things that we don't see from those strikers.
Mr. Nkeo, you know, we expect those players that are playing for those big teams to do what Mbuthuma did. And we hardly see that. And you ask yourself, is it him, Mbuthuma, with the surroundings? They tend to expose him in a manner that we saw his talent as a top striker. Or maybe he had that luck on that day. But for me, I would say, Mr. Nkeo, I've seen a quality striker in him when he played for Bafana Bafana, and thinking of the players that Pirates have got in terms of the creativity, Mfukeng, how he cuts in, because even there in the national team it did happen.
They were playing together with
yes,
Mfukeng
and Mfukeng did make a run, and then Mbuthuma. And for me, he and it's something that I would say these big teams, they need a striker like him. And
I think let's go to the heart of the conversation, so because this is the important part. Mabasa, Makgopa, Radiopane was at the Kosafa with Bafana Bafana, scored a couple of goals as well, and they're bringing him back to fitness. Lipasa. Now, when you sign a striker, he has to fit, especially in the system where you only play one of them. He's gonna be striker number 5. And he has to fit in there. Is he number 1? Is he number 2? Is he number 3? Or is he number 4 or number 5? He can't be number 1 because he hasn't scored 15 goals like Mabasa. So we can't assume he's number 1. So if he goes to Pirates, if it's officially announced, where does he fit in then? Does he sign for Pirates, get loaned out immediately? Does he sign for Pirates, come to Johannesburg, learn the new environment and fit in there? Because we have the elephant in the room is Mabasa, Makgopa, Radiopane, Kosafa, they're bringing him back in at Orlando Pirates. Lipasa back from injury as well. That's the biggest elephant in the room.
You know, Mr. Nkeo, it's good that he signed for Pirates, but I think as they sign him at Pirates, I think they'll release Lipasa. From what
There's still 3 people in front of him.
Then
what do you do with Radiopane? What do you do with Makgopa, who is trusted? What do you do with Mabasa? What are you going to do with... Is he jumping ahead of them? Is he more talented? That's my question to you. Is he more talented than those players?
In terms of his play, the last game he played for Bafana Bafana, I'll make him number 2. Number 1 for me will be Mabasa. Number 2 will be him. But what is happening, at Pirates, number 1 is always Makgopa. And unfortunately, Mabasa, I think even if he can score 30 goals, I don't think he will jump Makgopa and be number 1, according to the way I see things. And I'm worried that Mr. Nkeo, is he going to get a game time? Whereas a player like Mabasa is scoring, but he doesn't get game time like Makgopa. And now I've seen that Radiopane is also jumping Mabasa and become the second option. And so it's worrying that we saw you in the Bafana, you did very well, you signed for Pirates. So how this is gonna work? Because Umwana says he's a top striker.
But he's a club favorite. I agree with you. And also, they love him at the club,
Yes, they love him in Paris. And also, if you can look at also in the national team, Hugo Bruce believes in him. My friendly games, you will see him as a top man. He's going to be the one who's leading us up front.
The team the team endala, the team enkulu le team yawo ngubani osayida abadlali le team njengoba ingenamqeqeshi le team yawo. Ninamaqhinga kule team yenu.
You know, I was sitting at home and I said to myself, you know what, let me go and study so that I can be a proper technical director because I think it's very important that big teams like about Pirates, Chiefs, they need
ufuna ube
a
nguPreston
proper person.
ufuna ureplace uPreston
Oh, I mean, if the opportunity is there, why not? Because I
uzakwenza lamaqhinga nawe
No,
nawe
it's-
nawe uzawuzenza izinto zo-influence ucoach
No,
umnike line up uprint
No,
line up
no, you know,
nawe
no,
uzawuyenza
Mr. Keo, you know
nawe
what I was-
uzawuyenza
No, I mean, I've learned-
une-aspirations you have dreams to do that
You know,
uprint line up
No.
ufuna uprint
It's
line
to-
up
It's to advise him to do the right things. Show you.
usishaya
Mr. Keo,
ngelanguage
No, let me
ufuna
tell
uprint
you.
line up
No, I used to do that when I was a technical director at Starlet. What I would do is that I'll advise you to say, Coach, as I was sitting there, first half, this is what I saw. Then ukuthi wenzani, it's up to you. But on Monday I need a report. And then you'll tell me when ukuthi, after all that I've told you, and then what did you do to us and end up losing the game? Because these are the signs that I've shown you, ukuthi, we're gonna lose the game if you're not gonna change this. And then you continue and then we lost the game.
Asivale, Mr. So let's
Yeah.
try and get to the crystal ball.
Yes.
Mbuthuma signs Orlando Pirates if they announce him officially.
Yeah.
We don't know who's the coach, so we don't know whether he's going to be the favorite of the coach. But Pirates runs itself differently. It might be that they have a coach, but still, Makgopa is the preferred striker, for example. Just make an example. What future then do you see for Mbuthuma? He starts for Orlando Pirates. Does it make any difference? If he signs for Orlando Pirates, as the rumor is indicating, does he play for Pirates maybe 10 games? Does he become influential for Pirates? Because in the Champions League as well, big club Orlando Pirates. Hopefully they can challenge for the league. I hope they can win. I keep on saying this every year actually. But sometimes it's very difficult. It's a formidable opponent. What kind of difference? Or they send him to the National First Division or Atlalela PSL. What do you think Pirates will actually do? Because there's nothing wrong with signing good players with good potential. You can just keep them and say, okay, it's stacked in with the strikers. But you'll stick around in the PSL. You'll come back next season. What kind of future do you foresee for him? Is he going to start immediately?
No, you know, he's going to be staying at Pirates. You know why I'm saying this, Mr. Keo? They've learned that in January, where they were supposed to sign players and beef up the team for the CAF Champions League,
Yes.
they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So now they've learned to say, look, this is the right time for us that let's get whoever that we want so that we prepare now for the Champions League so that we don't find ourselves in January where we will like, ish, we need something, or no, let's keep it the way it is. Because I think one party that plays a role in Pirates, for them not to go all the way to the final was not to have beef up to the team, because I think at some areas they needed quality
a
players.
depth problem.
Yes, they needed, especially in the midfield, you know, and in the strikers. I think they needed players that, you know, they'll come to the party and really take the team to another level.
So he'll be part of the member of the squad.
He's going to be part of the team.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. So. We'll come back tomorrow. Mamelodi Sundowns, Borussia Dortmund as well. Yanela Mbuthuma. When they give you an opportunity, you use it. There was no way, even this video, the way we're talking about him, if he didn't raise his hand there, Bafana against Mozambique, trust me, because the question we're going to ask is, but what has it done with Richards Bay? Yeah, but because Richards Bay is a smaller team, you have to understand the context. It's a smaller team. You don't get to really express yourself as an attacker. Then you look like you're not that good. I'm not saying he's good or not. I'm just saying that what we saw in the last game that he played for Bafana kind of gave you an indication that if he has quality players around him, maybe he might just be a good player. But there's also another element to it. He's going to move from KZN to Johannesburg. There are those dynamics that happen. Pirates is very big as well. There's going to be a culture shock. There's friends, every mall, Pirates friends. Maybe that might shock him, or maybe he might just embrace the challenge and become a top striker. We don't know that. We don't know what will happen. iDiskiTV Times, we're also betting. For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami uLindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Vilakazi, they call me Tso. Niyazi bafethu, amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiski TV.